I'm really getting to like this music. I feel like I'm going to be sad when the time comes to do away with it. It seems, a little bit like the frisky elf. It's grown on me.
Frisky elf.
And I think that's a good place to be. Like the elf, like you always have work, but you're not in the limelight. Like you don't have to worry about the horrific press, the judgment of your family. I think I'm on to something here. I love the news show, and I don't know how it is everywhere else in the world, but if it weren't for this show right now, I would totally be covered up in sheets, pretending to try to sleep. I don't know how when the world gets back to normal, I don't know what the first thing I'm going to do to feel alive again is going to be.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. I guess it depends. Right now, daylight savings time seems excessive. It seems like it's been going too long this year.
As soon as COVID gets better, I'm going straight to the Abbey.
Well, no, I mean, I don't know. Well, and that's fine. And dancing is a way to feel alive. I would like to go to a concert.
Yes.
I was thinking to myself, what would I want to do right now that would make me feel alive?
I want to go to the bowl.
The Hollywood Bowl, yes. The Los Angeles Philharmonic was and is a place that's very near and dear to my heart, especially for a lot of reasons. I mean, the amount of psilocybin that I've taken at that facility is probably more than every person combined. But
yes.
No. I'm obviously an advocate for the Philharmonic, and I have to say thank you for joining us, Dr. Abby. If it weren't for you and Richard Sarvate to my right, I don't think I would be definitely asleep right now. I'm heavy behind the eyes. The daylight savings time and the inability to go to a gym in communist California and I do kind of make jokes about this, but I'm curious on your thoughts about this, Doctor. In these states like Texas and Florida, who have just basically they're going through the same ICU stuff as we are.
That is incorrect.
It is incorrect. Would you get the microphone? Can we?
They're way more overwhelmed than we are.
Let's get it up. They are way more.
Yeah, they're way more.
So how?
That's why DeSantis raided that scientist because she was trying to tell people what was actually going on.
And what was she saying? And I didn't
silencing her.
She was she commented on the data, right? And
she was fired.
Because she made a snarky tweet.
Because she was trying to talk about what was actually happening.
She made a snarky tweet.
And then she was trying to post about, get the information to the public that he was trying to hide. And then he raided her house and frightened her children.
And I didn't want to do that news story.
You forced me into that one. So
well, I did. Well, I didn't. But this was a real thing. There's a data scientist in Florida who was raided by the police, and all of her stuff was good. She actually posted some grainy Bigfoot video of the cops coming into her house saying they pointed a gun at my kid. And they're like, we didn't point a gun at anyone.
So they were trying to stop her from releasing information about COVID?
Well, no, she was a data scientist that had COVID data.
Okay.
And she commented on the data, which she wasn't supposed to do in her position. So to silence her is what she's saying is they raided her place. And they did raid her place. There's
video of it.
It's grainy Bigfoot's video. But yes, there is.
I mean, there are armed officers in her home.
Oh, wow.
There are. But
what did she comment, though? She said it's not as bad as it seems, or what?
No,
No, she was saying it's worse.
It's
that
worse.
He was trying to hide the governor
Oh.
because he doesn't want to put any restrictions, and
Oh.
he's in Trump cult trying to
because
under
you
the
know
rug everything.
because Florida is free and clear. Like they are.
So those areas, like places where people are allowed to do a lot more, are definitely harder hit. California does not have 30% positivity rates in testing.
Wait, what was the highest we got to? Positivity rates? Do you?
You know, I wasn't expecting to have these stats.
Well, no, I mean,
needed.
sure. I mean, and this
So
is the
on the
challenge of doing the
fly.
Brian
Yeah,
Moreno Show.
Yeah.
Well, the FBI might come raid your house if they hear this
So-
podcast.
No, not in this
I
state.
think we're at the highest that we've been at, and we're not even 10%. And so, like, other states, like Arizona is building hospital space in parking garages. Like, we're not doing that. Our
Ay,
ICUs
Chihuahua.
are not full. We are worried that our ICUs are getting full. It's just different thresholds. You know, it's like the red states are like, whatever,
See,
sacrifice the nurses and doctors.
Well,
Nobody
I
cares.
like to hear it coming from you, but I hope that we get like the vaccine going. I hope so. You know, like I would like to see the world be slightly back to normal.
At this point, I've given up hope. You know, I'm no longer a stand-up comedian.
Well, I'm ex stand-up. Yeah, I say that regularly. I say that with anyone who will listen.
Yeah, if
I will say that too.
if I ever perform in a crowded comedy club ever again, I will consider that like I didn't expect it.
I feel like we really saw some of the best times.
Yeah.
Dr. Abby, you a fan of live music yourself, like you
That's
saw some very crowded venues. And
Honestly, I think we're going to go back to it within a couple of years.
really.
Yeah. I
Well-
mean, these things happen. Like, everybody's so focused on being stuck in it. I think that what we're missing sight of is that we live in an incredible time where from the day when someone is infected, in less than a year, we have multiple vaccines that are extremely effective. And that's because of years.
Donald Trump,
Yes.
obviously.
I will get up and
And
leave.
Steve
I will get
Bannon
up and
also.
leave because
Steve Bannon.
He
Is it
deserves-
because of Steve
he
Bannon?
deserves zero credit. Years of scientists working their asses off to come up with ways to make new vaccines. That all the science was already there. All they needed was something to use it on. And that's why we made it so fast. And I think that that's incredible. And I think we're going to get out of it. I think this is going to be a period of time that we look back on. I think everybody is so bogged down in the details and the everyday and then this and that. I think it may linger for sure, but it may be something that you need a flu shot for every year. And if you get it, there's a chance you could still die, but it's not going to change our daily lives every day. And I think that this time period will fade away in the next few years.
See that, and UCLA actually, there was some report that they thought there was going to be a Roaring 20s type
Yeah,
of
and
UCLA.
I saw that too. That's what I'm saying. There's so much innovation. There's so much amazing technology going on.
Well,
Humanity finds a way.
I wasn't sure in the Roaring 20s if they were in need of a late night type news show, news commentary
I
show.
think that's an essential part of the Roaring 20s for
Yeah.
sure.
You know, and I also want to introduce the newest member. I don't have the photos and everything, but I'm going to do a whole introduction to the newest member of the Brian Moreno Show family, the Traeger Grill. Traeger Grills. An absolute wonderful addition. I was kind of intimidated by Traeger or the pellet system. I did not know about, and it is a wonderful way to cook. I cannot wait to talk more about it, but I'm very thankful. And these, that makes it a very nice holiday for me. Very wonderful Hanukkah for me.
My belly is a big fan of Traeger grills.
Well, I have to say this is a wonderful Hanukkah present or Christmas. The gentleman who was actually signed off was Jewish, so
It could be Christmaka.
no. Well, he was Jewish, so that's why he's like, I feel weird saying that I'm a Santa Claus
Hanukkah
today.
Harry.
But I called him the hench the mensch, or
Mensch on a bench is the
mensch. I call him hench
The bench.
I don't think he understood
There's
what I
a
was saying.
moose. I think it's Mazel the moose that they also make. Well, it was on Shark Tank, correct?
Mazel the moose.
There's a moose. I don't remember. I might be Mitzvah moose,
Where
where his antlers are a menorah.
Oh.
yeah, this is. It's so complicated. The Jewish.
Why is that complicated?
No, because
No, that's
Santa.
a new
Candles.
product.
Santa's
that's not,
like-
they're just trying to catch up and get the kids something
Yeah,
to
see,
like.
like Santa's a super simple. It's a dude that lives in the North Pole.
Okay, I don't understand how a moose is any more complicated than some creepy old man
because
who
a
lives
moose is-
forever with reindeer and sleighs.
Because I think mooses generally are in areas where there aren't
think
as
it's
many
just-
Jews.
Moose is already plural.
So the moose eye.
Wrong again.
I think. Now, doctor,
Yes.
first up tonight.
Oh, so I actually have a follow-up story
This is wonderful.
that I would like to bring to our attention for
Please.
the hardcore fans of the Brian Moreno Show who watch this every week. That last week we discussed a shameful Oregon physician named Stephen LaTulippe. And this is Oregon Stephen LaTulippe, because I think there is either a Texas or Indiana Stephen LaTulippe, who is a fine physician from what I know. But Oregon Stephen LaTulippe, because of the speech that he gave at a Stop the Steal rally talking about the harms of masks, et cetera, has had his medical license revoked in Oregon with stinging rebuke.
Now, okay, I asked last week what it takes to get disdoctored. So this is what it takes to get disdoctored.
Damn.
Now, the medical board, do they normally act this fast?
I think it depends on the case. Something that is this high profile and egregious, and I'm pretty sure he's had other issues in his file.
So
they
this
said,
was the straw that broke.
Yeah, they said his conduct is contrary to medical ethics, does or might constitute a danger to the health or safety of the public, accused him of gross negligence.
This is the guy right here.
Mm-hmm.
This is
Perfect.
not him on the screen. This is him. This is the doctor.
This looks like a Trump rally.
That was a Trump rally.
Okay.
That's where he spoke. That's where the notoriety came from.
Okay.
Oh, now see, he's obviously not the best doctor, but
A little bit of an understatement.
I'm sure there were one or two patients that were better off, right? Now,
In his whole career, sure.
so are the what?
But
they
I
have to
think
go find someone new in the network that has the same ideals as, because he had some fans.
Sure.
He had some patient fans that are like, this is crazy.
I'm sure he's got 20K followers on Instagram. at
Yeah,
least.
he's probably got more than all of us combined. So now, once he gets disdoctored,
That's not a word.
does he ever come back?
I don't think he can ever get approved by a board again.
Oh, so
He will never be able to practice medicine
He'll
again.
be
Definitely not in that state.
well, there's witchcraft. There's a lot of off the radar stuff.
You can go to
not-
Louisiana.
No, I mean,
modern-
anywhere.
Modern scientific medicine that is licensed through the government he will not practice again.
Now, I just wonder, because of like the economy going down and whatnot, if there are more doctors doing like shady things.
Probably.
Like
I think
just to
I
make
read
ends
something
meet.
about end of life services. I don't know if that's necessarily physicians, but because there are so many terminal patients now, that there are these end of life companies in Los Angeles that are shysting people,
So
which is really awful.
So they're like, take this to die, and then the people don't die.
No.
Okay,
No.
because that
That's-
would be terrible.
That's assisted suicide. End of life is like hospice, and
Well, end of life is okay. It's suicide.
you were thinking assisted suicide.
but I still think end of life is like you're
It
done.
sounds like it, yeah.
no, it's
Like you're done. No, okay. So hospice. They say that there's
Yeah.
going to be a hospice, and then just nobody shows up, or nobody. Because there's different levels of hospice. You go or they come to you.
So, yeah, there's different types of hospice. I don't know which. All I saw was that there is a growing industry for hospice, and there is a lot of fraud and deficient care going on.
Oh, now that would be terrible.
It's happening.
That would be terrible. So, because it's like the hospice people are supposed to inject you with like the propofol and whatnot, right?
No.
or whatever to chill you out.
Well, so
Propofol's gotta be something that the hospice people.
propofol is not something that people give in hospice because propofol is a sedative.
Okay.
What they give is targeted treatment to treat symptoms at the end of life to make it less unpleasant and give you a nice death.
When my father passed, because my father went into hospice, because I mean, and also you don't want your parent to die in the home because value of the house.
Good palliative care and hospice are an extremely appropriate and useful
But I
thing.
swore my dad got one medication that Michael Jackson was also taking. Which one would that be?
I mean, it could be, they give opiates, they give benzodiazepines.
That sounds familiar.
They should not give propofol, from what I am aware of. Propofol is an in-hospital medication for procedures and intensive care sedation.
That's interesting.
Which is why it was so ridiculous
so
that Michael Jackson was taking it at home. Like, if there are some hospitals where you can't even give it if you're not an anesthesiologist.
How wasted would you be?
You don't even remember anything. I got propofol for a procedure. They call it milk of amnesia because it's white.
Wow.
And it's like you can watch it going into your vein, and then it's like gone.
Wow.
Like you don't remember anything.
Wow.
So
Like
cool.
that's the thing. It's not even fun.
Oh,
It's like
off.
you don't even feel loopy. Like you're just out.
Well, I mean, Michael Jackson was tired. I did hear.
Yeah, because he was all hopped up on propofol.
I did hear.
You took it at home?
Yeah,
That's
he took
so
it at
fun.
home.
So you just
That's why it
knocked
was
out?
so crazy. One of my mentors, when I was training, was a witness in that case. And he was talking about for Michael Jackson's family about how ridiculous it was.
Wow.
Like, you can't breathe properly. Like, you need, like, to be
Oh my
intubated
God.
when you get propofol.
He's like, oh, let me
Like,
get
your
my breathing
airway will
machine.
just collapse because there's nothing to protect it.
I find this absolutely
You gotta sleep on your side. That's what keeps
absolutely.
your
But
mouth
that
open.
doctor went to jail for quite some time.
Yes.
Yes, his name is passing me, but he was getting Michael toe up.
Yeah, Michael was all hopped up on that propofol.
All right, doctor, what's next?
Okay, moving on to something a little bit lighter, although maybe
this
not.
is heavier.
This is
actually
yeah. I don't
heavier.
know why I said lighter. Maybe fluffier, but also terrifying.
Yes.
So there is a Chipotle in Manhattan where workers have been bombarded by enormous rats, and the storefront has been
Look at this.
overrun.
Look at this. The size of
Okay,
this rat.
so look at the size of that rat.
Oh.
So this has been going on for a long period of time in Washington Heights. One guy said he killed rats with a stick, and they've been biting the staff. And Chipotle wouldn't even close it necessarily. They closed it to exterminate, but the staff were still required to come in and clean, and they kept getting bitten.
Oh my God. Well, you know it's New York City. There's rats everywhere.
Okay, so but look at the size. The
I
size
don't
of the
know that
rat.
For a second, I thought that
seen-
avocado was the rat, and I got really scared. I was like, what the fuck?
I think the article calls these guac-hungry rats.
Okay, now
They take one bite of the avocado. That's the shittiest part.
look at that rat. That is more than you would get in weight in chips. If you got
No,
a
yeah.
side of chips.
That's the same as a large burrito.
Yes, that's just to describe
It's 2,000 calories.
That's the rat
the
burrito.
actual square footage.
You could wrap that thing in a tortilla and be like,
I
that's
find-
a big burrito.
Look, I don't know I don't eat Chipotle anymore because of one bad experience when they used to say the bats were in the one up on Beverly. I I swore on my life I saw one of the bats.
Bats are kind of cute.
Okay, well, done. Okay.
Well, I didn't eat Chipotle after the recurrent E. coli scare.
There were bats in
I'm more scared of E. coli
in the
than
one up, or
bats.
maybe it was I don't know. But it
rats
was
are just daytime bats, dude. So why are you against this?
I was very taken aback.
Aback.
Aback. So I did not go back to Chipotle ever again. But the thing is, I also have a very sensitive stomach. And as you guys think, I'm susceptible to the power of suggestion. So I feel like every Chipotle I go to will have bats.
Just walking by.
Just that's because I'm walking by. The bats are waiting.
I don't even like Chipotle that much, to be honest. It's not a
Yeah.
big loss for me.
I feel like Chipotle, like, it's gotten such a bad rap, but people love it.
I used to really like it.
It's-
pre E. coli.
I don't know.
But
It's like,
that was in New York. That was a long time ago. I think I ate very differently.
yeah.
No,
We eat very LA now.
I was gonna say it's $1,200.
Organic.
Chipotle's $1,300 a share. Even like the stock, it is.
Really?
Yes, it is exceptionally.
So this rat
Wow.
thing did not drop the stock at all?
well,
well-
this is just one location.
Yeah. That's not. That's yeah.
And it's
it
in Washington Heights, which
is not the best area.
not the best area.
Which they have foot-long rats everywhere.
Yeah, it's right next to Columbia Medical Center.
Well, no, I mean the rat problem in New York is getting out of
Oh.
control, though, right?
Yeah, I remember some like rat freeways that I would walk by.
Oh, shit.
Really?
Yeah, they would just be crossing the sidewalk, and I'm like, is everybody going to work? I don't understand. Like, how do they know to be here and go at such speed?
And they were, how big were they? Were they burrito
Not that
size?
big.
No.
No, I think they've mutated since I moved away.
Now, if you did see a burrito-sized rat like that, what I don't
I
know.
would run in the other direction.
Yeah,
because it's definitely
that seems
diseased.
terrifying to
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
There used to be a guy in San Francisco. He used to have a rat on a cat on a dog.
I think I've heard of this person.
Yeah, he was very famous. Yeah, he would sit in Union Square,
Well,
and
some
A rat on a
home rats
Say
can
again?
be very cute.
so he would have his pet dog, and then a cat was sleeping on the dog, and then a rat was sleeping on top of the cat.
Now the rat was not like taxidermied. It
No, it was a real
alive?
rat. Oh, yeah, that was his pet rat, and
Well-
they would all stay there
Clean
all day.
pet rats can be very cute and sweet, and they can be very good pets. Street rats are scary and infested.
Well, I mean, any rat that big is not sweet and nice. Any
Well,
rat.
that's not a pet rat.
Well, but that's also here. You go, Richard.
Oh, thank you, sir. That is
Now-
delicious.
This story it freaks me out because I don't get Chipotle like really anyway. People seem to think it's still, I mean, it is so much a share, but they also own Bim Bim Bop and a few other things.
Bim Bim Bop. It's the most racist pronunciation. They also own Bim Bim Bop.
Well, whatever. They own a few companies like that. I just,
I'm unfamiliar.
I can't get behind a burrito that's, I like the places that aren't chains.
Yeah. Same.
Okay, like if I'm gonna eat a burrito, seriously, I don't like. You can't have more than like 3 locations, maybe 6 if it's regional.
I feel like that about all the restaurants I go to.
My favorite is like if someone's doing construction and one of those trucks pulls up, I just run in for the truck and get the food that the construction workers
Yeah,
are eating.
perfect. Yeah, I would.
You like street trucks.
I
I
will.
love street
Yeah,
trucks, yeah.
absolutely. Yeah. There's not. I mean,
That's
they're not
okay.
all equal. Let's be
No.
clear, but they're not bad.
I want to go into a Mexican person's house, see a grandma beating a grandchild, and then a tamale in the back, and have that. That's the kind of cooking I want.
You want the abuelas food.
Yeah, exactly. Much easier way of putting it.
All right, doctor. What's next?
Okay, speaking of stock prices, Airbnb, which went public today,
Yes.
there is some scandal going on in a Glendale apartment building that has to do with Airbnb. So some renters at the Griffith Apartments on Los Feliz Road in Glendale are angry because they have discovered that many apartments in their building are listed as 30-day rentals on Airbnb. They're worried that it's going to be a COVID risk with all these randos coming in and out of the building. I think it's much ado about nothing.
Well, I think I used to be a big part of the Airbnb problem when it first started, I will admit. I'm no longer. But I was known about town, you know, as a
Sketchy.
As a hotelier almost.
And I know the building you're talking about.
Well,
It's not as nice as Griffith Apartment.
no, but there were other. That wasn't the only one.
Oh,
You just I was a man about town. I was a hotelier.
yeah.
I was just
I've
one
never
building.
heard that word before, but it sounds perfect. Hotelier.
I had a mustache that I was
Exactly,
curled up.
yeah.
It was unbelievable.
A little monocle.
Yes, it was.
you're the Monopoly man
Yeah.
with hotels.
No, and when Airbnb first started, like you could list rat traps
And you did.
for
You
a
listed
lot.
that
You could
Chipotle.
list that Chipotle, that rat, that it's home for $500 a night. And then now the market becomes diluted and oversaturated, and you know, if they're having a problem renting, first it's because it's Glendale, and secondly,
What's the issue? They can't get people.
well,
in there?
no, well the issue is that this building is listing, and you're not supposed. It's
a code.
listing
They're
with-
not allowed to list on Airbnb.
in Los Angeles. You're not allowed to do that. You have to. Rental buildings are supposed to be rentals,
Oh.
and then
But I think it's the 30-day cutoff where they get around it or
Uh-huh.
something. And like
'Cause
he
they
says
say
something
it's a
about
short-
corporate housing. you know,
Yes.
blah, blah,
Dude,
blah,
I mean,
blah.
people are just trying to make money right now. The girl who lives beneath me doesn't even pay rent anymore. She was like, I stopped. I'm like, so I don't blame someone for trying to, get a quick buck.
I would say Airbnb being your place. There's really good things for it as a renter, but if you're doing it, that the landlord's doing it, which I know landlords who have done it. I was a building manager who did it.
This was after a hotelier?
Well, there were different
Any
adjectives.
overlap.
There's
Okay, gotcha.
different adjectives to describe the same Brian. But people like me can be part of the problem. I will be the first to admit, because it does not open what may be an affordable place for
Yeah.
someone to rent
Okay.
that they could, and it drives rent up. And it's all for a short-term profit, because most of these people tear the places up. And
Well, who even wants to come to LA right now? You know what I mean? Are people
who
flocking?
wants to come to LA and live in Glendale right
That's
now?
what I'm saying, dude.
Well, I think it's right on the border of Atwater, to be fair.
I believe
Like
I
Tam O'Shanter.
I looked the area. It's right by the highway. I'm familiar with it.
Yeah. And I think the landlord was saying that he was doing it for people coming in to like do frontline work, like nurses and stuff.
I mean, that's what you
Okay.
say, though. But okay.
I mean, I
I'm-
didn't say that it's true.
I'm
That's what
happy
he
you
said.
brought that up, because I would have forgotten. That's kind of the go-to excuse these days.
Yeah. Well.
Whatever you're doing nefarious, be like,
Frontline
no,
worker.
it's for frontline workers. No. I didn't. I was gonna give this money, redistribute it back to the, these
Yeah.
guys who are getting money from the government and filming music videos. Be like, this is to entertain
The frontline.
frontline workers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the guys who are buying Lamborghinis. I do Uber for frontline workers. So they can get to the hospital much faster.
faster.
That
Yeah,
is
yeah,
the
yeah.
way that we
I would-
get there.
I would
Stop.
love
Makes sense.
I would love to do a comedy show for just all frontline workers, in here.
Well,
get
come
like
on
50
down.
People. Yeah.
We got some sassy people.
Yeah, I'll do some jokes at the
pulling
hospital.
their hair out.
Well, I always thought I would be a good warm-up guy for a doctor. For people who aren't
Do
in the
we need a warm-up?
non-ICU patients. Like, because you doctors come in like a little rigid sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
because
walk
we
in,
got
dun dun
tons
dun
to
dun
do.
dun 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 dun
I
dun
would
dun,
love
you
to
know?
try that. I would love to try that because we do get a lot of complaints.
Well, so I mean,
Well, because nobody feels good.
well, no, and see that's the
so
thing.
all
I
you
come
get.
in, take all the
Yeah.
complaints.
Yeah.
I
Doc-
don't think you could handle it.
I mean, I get it. Like, I mean, if the pay's good, the complaints are fine. Just leave them in the box.
No,
It's
you would
like,
start carrying their stress.
I'll start outsourcing some of mine to you.
hello, my lady. Hello, like that. I would,
Now, if we just get you a medical degree, you could be a great doctor.
Yeah.
well, from the University of
least the
Costa Rica.
Bedside manner. I thought Somalia was where you.
Oh
got
yeah,
your-
Somalia. I actually knew a guy in college who got like 2 or 3 DUIs and had to go to University of Puerto Rico for med school because that would be the only school that was the only school to
I
accept
mean, there's
him.
a whole racket of Caribbean schools where people go there and then do rotations in the States and then come out, and it's like, you never know.
And then what do you not learn in, say, like the University of Costa Rica?
I don't want to be characterized as an elitist, so they learn the same stuff. I'm not going to bash on
Yeah, well,
them.
so my degree does hold weight. Perfect. I just wanted to be clear on my medical
Yes.
prowess.
Yes.
What do you have, doctor?
Okay. Well, speaking of COVID and frontline workers, there is a popular ring of underground sex parties. Now we're talking about sex workers. So,
Frontline is fuck.
so I couldn't tell where this was happening. I think it's places like it's like a network across the country. I think they mentioned somewhere in New York and LA, but there's an underground network where you have to like sort of be vetted by a sex worker to be invited to these things. And the reason why people are worried is because obviously these could be COVID super spreader events.
Okay, now the story is on TMZ here in the front. Now, the story is from today. Now, I can tell you with 100% certainty this is a real thing. I am yet to get a first party verification, which I am working on. But they have, it seems like sex parties have reemerged in. Now, I have only seen New York sex parties firsthand, like ever, historically speaking. But the whole network is blossoming within LA. I don't believe they're at the rub and tug places. Like, these are, as far as I can tell, like, these are big house type of, like 6-8 bedroom houses where I would say the sex workers unionize, which is very progressive. You know, it's just.
But why is it just sex workers? Like,
Well, what do you want, magicians? Who else are you expecting?
no, but it's like, what about regular people who want to fuck? It's like, why do you have to already be a sex worker?
Well, I think that's just who's organized.
Yeah, because
those are
you're
organizers.
selling,
Okay,
because
yeah.
there are
Yeah.
people selling the use of their genitalia for X
Yeah.
amount
But
of
they're-
dollars.
But they're organizing a party that people can come to, right?
Well, it's not really a party. It's, I think you're booking rooms like in the Old West, like brothels.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
That are getting because you know there were a lot of displaced workers in every industry, and this industry in particular, people have reorganized with like madams, and the word pimp, I believe, gets thrown around maybe a little too loosely, but this is a real thing that is currently happening. And I think about a state like Florida where there isn't as much lockdown.
Yes.
Maybe this is one of the unintended consequences of your blue state, red state theory.
It's not a theory.
Okay, well,
And
this is
I
my
would
unintended
I'll
consequences.
take a few underground sex parties over putting patients in a parking lot.
Okay, now what if the underground sex party is at your building? What if it's under your
Then
like?
What if it's all the patients from your
what
building?
if now,
I
people.
don't think my building's big enough for this
Now
kind of
people are going to need sex. Like I've been saying, like when you lock down, people get horny, and then they
event.
start
people
doing
are
crazy.
dating. You know.
These people are not dating.
Well,
Like,
some
these
people are dating.
These are sex clubs where
This is not dating.
I don't know that the people frequenting these areas would.
No,
I think
but
they'd be like.
no, but these are people who have either paid to have like a stripper or sex worker come to their place, who are getting these type of like invitations to these places.
This is not that many people. I'm not worried about it.
I don't know. I don't have a running ticker
Well,
tally on. That's an excellent
I mean, I think
question.
it's bad that it's spreading COVID and probably STDs, but I think in the grand scheme of things, it's like
I don't want to have sex with other people in the room. Like, what's
no,
the
I mean,
appeal
there's
of-
bedrooms. There should from
but
what
the
I
picture, there are,
understand.
like 3 beds all up next to each other.
Yeah, but that's not.
I don't want to have like a competition with like who's fucking better.
Well,
you
I
know?
think that you are not the target audience for this type of event.
I
think
too could be at a sex
I
party.
don't-
Okay.
I wouldn't want to do it either, so I think that that's okay.
Yeah, you know what? I don't think sex parties are for me. I like one-on-one, nice, intimate sex.
But
Dirty
this,
sex.
but this is a brothel type situation. Like, I would say a lot of these people don't want anyone coming back to their place. That's what would be my guess. So they go to a brothel, which I find gross in the nature that you don't.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
There's just a lot of
Germs.
fluids
Yeah,
being
it's a lot of
transferred that I don't know necessarily get cleaned up the way as advertised.
Yeah.
I don't even know if they're advertising.
100%, dude.
Well, whatever may be assumed, whatever level of cleaning may be assumed,
I would assume very little.
I'm assuming less.
No, I bet you turn on UV light and you go fucking blind, dude.
Yeah, no. Well, it's also getting back to Airbnb. There was a time, one of the units, there was moisture in places it shouldn't have been, and I never did the black light, but I can imagine what
Probably best that you didn't.
like what people have done in some of these Airbnbs that I find it almost impossible to ever live in a place again if you regularly Airbnb it.
Humans are disgusting.
And the more you get in there, the more weird stuff
Yeah.
you see.
Rubbing their ass on walls and shit.
Like I couldn't imagine like if you had a place in Amsterdam right on the canal that you regularly Airbnb'd. Because I stayed one of these places. I was like, you know how much shit's probably happened here?
oh my god.
I stayed in a houseboat on a canal. I don't think we made a mess.
Well, no, but the people
were
after
very nice.
you,
Maybe.
Sven, absolutely did. What do you got next, Doctor?
Okay, keeping on the sex theme, San Diego is trying to fight to keep strip clubs closed during the pandemic. County officials there have deemed strip clubs non-essential and unsafe, but 2 specific clubs, Pacers Showgirls and Cheetah's Gentlemen's Club, are fighting to remain open.
Yeah,
I've been to that Cheetah's. I'm
really
I'm fine if it closes.
Really. So you have been to the San Diego Pacers and Cheetahs.
Just Cheetahs.
Now, you don't know anything about Pacers.
I don't have any information on Pacers, but the girls at Cheetahs are very nice.
I wonder who has a higher Yelp review, Pacers or the Oregon Doctor. Abby, can you?
I would
can
say
you look?
Pacers.
Can you
for
look?
Sure.
No.
Well,
People,
because the Oregon Doctor got his ratings tanked, so I don't think it's 1 star,
I actually got
which
my
is where he was.
You know, we got to keep up that.
Yeah, Pacers has like 3.5 stars.
Pacers. Wow, 3. That's. Do they serve food?
And same for
what's
Cheetahs.
What is the
Same for Cheetahs.
the most popular food dish? I wonder. Now, see, I've never been to any of the strip clubs in San Diego or Tijuana or anything like that. I've heard stories of, never been. Now, you say
The food looks terrible at Pacers.
food
I
looks
have to
terrible.
say.
I had my
Sad
first lap dance at
burrito.
Cheetahs.
Now, what burrito looks sadder, the Chipotle
I would
in
take.
Washington Heights?
I think
or
I'd still take the
Pacers?
Pacers burrito.
Interesting. A lot of burritos on the menu
Yeah,
tonight.
Yeah. This is a burrito-esque show.
I'll have a lap dance and a burrito.
Oh, this is incredible.
Cheetah's is right next to a U-Haul area.
Oh,
how
so
they-
you can return the
Yeah.
U-Haul and wait around for your burrito. Perfect.
Yeah, no, it's like a
So, Richard,
yeah.
okay, how many stars do you give Cheetahs?
Well, Cheetah's was my first strip club experience, actually. So I give it a lot of stars because it was so new. It was my first lap dance. I mean, 5 stars.
Wow, this was you got your first lap dance at that
Cheetah's, yeah.
the one that's fighting for their right to party.
I think in San Diego, yeah. So
Wow. So this story really hits close to
this
home.
is for me, yeah.
Wow.
Totally.
This is
It was my a removal of innocence when I went there. I was like, oh my god.
was it really?
I was like, this was my first time. I was like, I'm a bad boy.
Wow. How much did it cost you?
It's pretty cheap. It was like $40 for a lap dance.
For 3 songs? 1 song.
No, yeah, you know what?
That seems expensive.
That might have been expensive. Maybe I got ripped off.
Yeah. 40 for 1
It was
song?
40 for a song.
Because I worked as a strip club DJ for a while. And if there's one thing you don't do, it's play the songs too long. Don't be up there dancing in the booth.
Oh, I know. They love the short songs,
well,
dude,
no,
so
you
much.
play 3 minutes because
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what they're 2:30, whatever.
Yeah.
There'll be girls even be like, "Yo, I'll tip you big. Just play 2 songs, 2 minutes. I want to get out of this dude smells."
Why do you keep on playing Song 2 by Blur?
No, but you have to keep it tight. You
Yeah.
got to keep.
Oh my god. Did you do the announcements too? Like, here comes Foxy.
Of course, but I didn't do it like a baseball announcer.
Welcome, Foxy.
No, you'd be like, this takes a minute, but you gotta see there's different kinds of strip club DJs. There's the kind of like coming to the stage. That wasn't me. I would be like, see, I was soft and smooth, like.
When you were a stripper?
To the stage.
No, I never stripped. I did for men and women, and I saw some unforgettable things, both genders. That even if I tried, no matter how hard I tried, like it burnt into my retina some of the things I saw. But to introduce, I would be like, "Get your dollars out, gentlemen. The better the tipping, the better the stripping. Come to the stage next." The
Wow.
beautiful.
Sounds so fun, dude.
You know, there's these things that, like, I would be slow and smooth, like, ooh, gentlemen, lap dances, 3 for 90, whatever.
3 for 90.
three songs for 90. I don't know, whatever.
That's a good deal.
What? Well,
it's a good
no,
deal.
three songs. I think it was $30 a song, so you could have paid $40 for 1 song.
Yeah. that's
You
okay,
could have,
yeah.
because if you're getting 3 for 90, you know, it's been a long time. And inflation, I don't really know how much it's changed the prices. But I say cheetahs fight for their right. I wonder, because some of these places, these strip clubs, like, they're connected with the police. And, you know, like, the police let them just do whatever they do, their nefarious things. And I wonder if some of these clubs have been opening backdoor, like, underground, because
I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't, yeah.
because
totally.
they weren't allowed to get money from the government. That was on the exempt, like, the people who were not allowed. So
Wow.
yeah, and they got to make money. So that's why I say cheetahs, like, they got fight for your right, man.
Mhm.
How are hot girls making a living right now?
Well, no, they're not all hot. That's
They're
being
definitely
very, very presumptuous.
Can we?
Yeah.
What was the
I think
ATM
the keyword
fee?
is willing.
Yeah, no, I mean, but most of these people, I mean, they were there, like, it's all good.
What was the ATM fee at the strip club you were DJing at? $7?
I
Because I
don't
remember
think I ever.
I've never
used-
seen such a high ATM fee as at a strip club. I'm like, God damn, $8 to get $20?
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised it wasn't higher.
Yeah,
Real
right.
captive market there.
All right, doctor, what you got next?
Okay, big story about Facebook. So I think 48 attorneys general are coming against Facebook with an antitrust case. And I just want to break this down because it's a little complicated. But the idea behind antitrust in this country is based on the idea that if you corner the market, it's bad for the population. With something like Facebook, the question becomes, how can you prove it when it's a free service? You know, how can you, it's not like it drives away competition and prices because you don't pay for this service. So what they are focusing on is the idea of privacy. And so going back through Facebook's history and its growth, it's when it started, the privacy regulation was very high, you know, as opposed to when it was, because it was comparing itself to MySpace, where it was open to everybody. What they came out with was a closed network where you only share with people that you know and have agreed to network with, that are all verified by a college email address. And so what the FTC is trying to argue is that basically as Facebook grew, it would adjust its privacy settings either tighter or looser with its own growth to try to squash the market. And so as it grew, it would loosen the privacy stuff, you know, to try to get bigger, get more data, figure out ways to grow. And then as soon as they would get competition like Google Plus, they would say, oh, we have to give this facade that we're offering better privacy. And so what they're arguing is that because they have bought up Instagram and WhatsApp and are now the biggest guy in the market, is that they take all your data and they can do whatever they want. They can do whatever privacy settings they want because they're the only guy in town. And so they quote some internal memos from 2011 saying that
this was a very good article.
Yeah, so
in
I would
Wired.
recommend reading this article on Wired. I tried to summarize it as best I could. I don't know how I did. Maybe the host of the show can.
There's a few issues. It's like the government's so late on so much
So late on
much
this.
stuff.
And they allowed them to acquire Instagram and WhatsApp.
Right.
Well, sure. I mean, they went through federal clearance, but the problem is they try to integrate the stuff so much that it's almost impossible
To
or
separate them?
or at least that's what they're going
Well,
to.
that's what their goal is.
Yes, that's what they're going to present it as, is like, this is impossible. You allowed us
Yeah.
to do this, and now it's impossible to break it up.
What's the issue though? That like everybody's using it, so
It's
they
just
can-
too big. You got to break like antitrust in this country
But that's
is
the-
They
is-
face no competition.
as
Yeah.
the doctor said, is that it's to allow competition in an open market, and
It's bad for the
Facebook-
market. And this is the
Yeah.
way that they're trying to argue it.
Got it. Yeah.
Facebook has created a
And I have become very anti-Facebook.
Yeah, I actually really don't like Facebook. They make it so hard if you have a Facebook page or something like that. Even if you post something from your Facebook page, doesn't matter if 3,000 people have liked your Facebook page, maybe 4 people will see it. Like straight up, it's like that bad of numbers. Like, and only the people who
Well, it's because
paid
it's
for
not disinformation.
What do you- no, no, I'm
it's
like
only made to spread disinformation now.
right,
And
exactly, yeah.
clickbait.
Well, and also people who are paying for advertising.
Yeah.
They love, and so it's like, same thing, like with Instagram, it doesn't matter if you have thousands of followers, you post something, it's like, oh, if you sponsor the post, then yeah, it'll get shown to
look
everyone.
at the root of where Facebook was made. It was made by like a possible incel, like
Yeah,
on
yeah.
ways to rate the attractiveness of girls in his
Yeah.
class.
Yeah.
Like really awful
Mm-hmm.
when you look at it that way.
Yeah, I mean, and you're saying that permeates.
And now it's like the downfall of society.
yeah.
I don't know how the government is going to win this case. Facebook stock was hardly down at all.
Yeah, it barely blipped.
This is very difficult for the government to prove this late in the game.
I mean, I think it would be nice if they did.
I think it would be too. This
and-
could be 5-10 years or something like this.
Yeah, I mean, I have said before on the show, I have deactivated my Facebook, and I should probably just do a full delete. Take all those photos and just wipe it.
Facebook for me is like a history book now. Like I look back at myself 15 years ago. I'm like, who the fuck was that?
Yeah, like I don't even really know that I want to see those photos anymore.
Every time I log into Facebook, it's like some weird controversial conversation happening about like some niche of people that I know, and it's like, dude, this is like not where my mind is.
I mean, the role it's played in the anti-vax movement and in the election, like people quote like really ridiculous things to me, and I say, like people doubting the vaccine at me. I say I believe in science, not Facebook.
Well, so you think they're actively spreading misinformation?
Well,
because,
have you watched The Social Dilemma?
yeah.
That's the problem. So people want
Oh no, I've watched
simple.
Social Network.
No, you got to watch The Social Dilemma.
Okay, I don't know
because
what that is.
people want simple answers to
Yeah.
complex questions.
Yeah.
And what is Facebook promotes are simple answers to complex problems. Like, you take the autism anti-vax thing, right?
Yeah.
There are horrible stories with mothers going through horrible
Totally, yeah.
things. And it gives a simple answer to a horrible, complex problem. Like, nobody knows where autism really comes from. And then some asshole publishes studies that have now been retracted linking vaccines. And there's no basis for it in real science, but the damage is done. And then the cat's out of the bag. And what do people click? Sensational titles, things that are clickbait.
But my question is,
And that gets promoted.
but that's not the fault of Facebook. That's
Yes,
the fault of people.
Well, so if you watch The Social Dilemma, it shows you how it is the fault of Facebook because the
mystery.
algorithms
The algorithm
promote
promote it.
things that
Okay.
are misinformation. Because things that
people
talk
are clicking
about
on that more.
things
Yeah.
that talk about real complex issues in nuanced and sophisticated ways that are really long articles with a complicated thesis, people don't click that. People click, vaccines are murdering you, and this will tell you why. Da 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 da. Sensational, simple things that are misinformation.
Yeah. Okay.
Like look at all the fraud.
Well, someone needs to file a JIRA ticket to get that algorithm fixed.
Wow. I have to say that it's very frustrating because the government works so reactively. Instead of being proactive and seeing like this type of stuff coming, they're just so reactionary.
Well, because the government, current leaders are just so focused on keeping themselves in power, they don't actually care about legislating anymore.
And I think it's absolutely horrible what they're doing to people, to the stimulus. I think it's terrible.
Just get over yourselves.
Yes,
just agree on something. Stop stifling the other. It's just the people who are there have been there for too long. And the hate that they feel for each other is too deep. They cannot compromise.
Yeah.
That's the problem with the Senate, basically, is it's a seniority system, and then you're talking about, I was reading an article last night about Dianne Feinstein, how her mind is starting to go. And then someone's like, this is only becoming an issue now because social media pays attention. They're like, Strom Thurmond didn't know what was going on for like 10 years and people still voted for him.
Yeah, see, it's
just they're too old and they make their own rules. So like they just want to stay in power forever.
Well, I'm on TikTok now, so.
Yeah,
Maybe
check
you
him
can
out
make
at
some
Richard
help.
Sarvate.
Yeah, check me out.
All right, doctor, what do you got next?
Okay, going along with the dark side of tech, GoFundMe. There's an article on Slate talking about the dark side of GoFundMe, particularly how the We Build the Wall campaign that was started in 2018 that was supposed to go to Donald Trump's campaign promise to build a wall across the southern border raised more than $25 million. And a ton of it actually just went to the organizers of the page. And they go on to talk about how it's sort of gone from promoting small charitable organizations and, people that otherwise wouldn't have a platform to get charity to funding itself because they run on tips, and now they're just trying to be the only place where charitable donations go through.
Oh, see, everything, once so much money starts going through it, everything becomes corrupt and shady and
Yeah, and how there are people
nefarious.
fake cancers so they can get a few $1,000s.
Yeah.
You know, and it's pulling money away from real charities that people would otherwise potentially donate to.
And it's very sad because this really helped a lot of people, but now it's like you see the most ridiculous fundraisers and you don't know it's real. And I question everything anyway.
I hope you don't change once we get sponsorship, you know?
No.
We already have sponsors.
Well, yeah, I mean, we already have three wonderful sponsors: Alpha Dog Poo Bags, Traeger Grills, and Vapor Brothers. The only way to vape your herb.
Thank you to all our wonderful sponsors.
No, I just mean once the Brian Moreno Show becomes more about the money than about the news, you know? Like, people are going to be paying to have their stories, you know, and you're going to be like, oh, we really got to talk about...
We really got to talk about Tide this week.
Yeah, totally.
They have a great new flavor.
Oh, I just did my laundry.
Kids
Tide Pods are delicious.
The kids have been.
I'm happy with these days, the early days of the Brian Moreno Show.
Yeah, when we talked about the Russians, didn't we talk about Russians drinking Clorox? Like, that might have been...
Well, they drink methanol hand sanitizer.
Well, that might have been sponsored by Stolichnaya.
Purell.
Stolichnaya hand sanitizer. The strongest hand sanitizer in Moscow.
Oh, my.
That sounds delicious. Where can I get some of that, Brian?
I know, like, this is all just product placement, this whole show.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, Chipotle, all this. Like, I get gift certificates.
I don't know that Chipotle would pay for this kind of PR.
Any news is good stuff. So yeah, I mean, I've given to like 3 GoFundMe's ever, and they allow you to be anonymous or leave like the comments and stuff, and it's like you want people to see that you did it, but you also don't want it to be like, I only gave 20.
Oh,
Someone's gonna be like, why is he only giving 20?
It shows how much you give.
And leaving, well, you can.
You can, yeah.
You can give as much or as little info to be put on like a comment type thread as you'd like, and
get well soon, Brian Moreno.
Yeah.
$2.
Yeah, $2.
I think I've only ever given to GoFundMe once, and it was like for a former residency classmate who had actual cancer.
I mean, did you see their medical chart? Yeah. Oh, you did?
No, I mean, I didn't see the medical
we'll see,
chart,
unless you saw the chart.
She died, so.
From the cancer or from the GoFundMe page? From dealing with the GoFundMe. from how many service fees they took.
That makes me sad. Don't laugh.
All right, doctor.
Okay, so I think we've gotten to the lighter portion of the show finally. Evander Holyfield's son says his dad is ready to whoop Tyson again.
So this is the thing. Mike Tyson fought
Roy Jones Jr.
Roy Jones, and if I'm not mistaken, they pulled in $80 million.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
For this fight that we watched. Yes, this was not even a sanctioned fight, and Evander Holyfield has been posting on Instagram. Evander Holyfield was the person Mike Tyson so famously took a chunk out of his ear. And I still remember that. There was a big chunk.
I remember
it too,
that.
yeah.
That was
I was not watching it live, but I remember that happening.
Sure. Because Mike Tyson lost it. Like, he was just so frustrated because he was trying to fight Evander, and Evander just kept grabbing him.
Uh-huh.
And he was so frustrated. He's like, get off me. Ah!
Oh, my God.
And bit his ear and bit his ear off.
Damn. I'd be pissed, too. It's like, I hate that when they're trying to fight and they just grab him. It's like, dude. I would just get so pissed.
Yeah. I mean, Mike Tyson did, and he lost it.
Dude, honestly, I don't really like watching boxing because it's like, do, and then hug. And then back away. One punch, and hug. And back away. It's like, I just like UFC now.
I don't like watching.
That's a lot of hugging, too.
Yeah.
More like cradling
I just want to see street
and
fights.
rocking is what I see on UFC.
Yeah.
They just look like they're cuddling, to be honest.
I don't know if I would want to see Tyson and holy.
I'm not gonna watch Tyson fight ever again, dude. That
Do you
shit was
know
such bullshit.
that?
Yeah, but I feel like with that history, maybe they'll really get into it.
Well, it's got to be like a knockouts allowed. I wouldn't
Well,
watch
it has to
unless-
be a real fight.
a real
Yeah.
fight. Yeah.
Do you know that? What is the guy? The guy who made the grill, the George Foreman. George Foreman. He was heavyweight champion. Would you look this up at 53? I think 54. He became heavyweight champion again.
Really.
Yes,
That's
very
fucking
old.
amazing, dude.
Very old. And so I think Tyson is still younger than what he was when he became heavyweight champion again.
But it's like when you saw them fighting. I mean, it was really like
It was sad.
tired,
Well,
yeah.
the thing is, you could tell Tyson had been instructed, don't hit Roy Jones in the face. Because Tyson could have knocked him out. Tyson, if he just kept hitting him
I
in
think
the
it was
body.
Yeah.
48.
He was
I'm not
48.
mistaken.
Thought he was older. This is the George Foreman grill, right? Yes, because George Foreman came back and won.
It says Foreman had fought for the last time at the age of
45. Yes, he became it. So I guess Tyson's a little older.
How
yeah,
old is Tyson?
he was going to do a comeback at 55, but it never happened.
So 40. I mean, but Foreman was a big guy.
For a boxing heavyweight champion, that's a very old.
Sure. I mean, but George Foreman is such a big man, like a giant stature of a man.
Yeah.
So, I mean, people need things to watch, and that sold $80 million, though. That's a lot.
No, because it's the same thing that I bought into. I thought it was going to be Mike Tyson fighting, and it was a shitty exhibition match. Like, we were all duped a bit.
I mean, duped a little. There was a little dupe city.
I didn't pay anything, so I felt fine about it.
Yeah, I mean,
We paid.
it was watchable, but when you're that old and the
2-minute rounds.
the thing is, Holyfield isn't really gonna fight
Yeah.
Tyson the way you'd want to fight.
He's gonna
I'm
hug him.
excited about the Logan Paul Floyd Mayweather match.
Yes, and
Jake Paul.
What I think it was
No,
Logan.
it's
He's
Logan.
And now it's going to be
Logan.
Logan Paul?
yeah. Well, the
Logan.
thing is, I didn't realize that Logan Paul had boxed more than Jake Paul.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, it took me a whole day to
Oh my
understand
God.
it was a different person.
Yeah, they're gonna fight on February 20th.
Okay.
And the thing is,
I know my boxing now.
Wow.
I find it crazy that Floyd Mayweather he was undefeated throughout his boxing career.
Yeah.
And it's like there's
And he's very small.
such a little chance that Logan Paul will be able to do anything against Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah.
But that being said, there is still a chance that Floyd Mayweather could really ruin his whole legacy.
Oh my
If
God.
he gets one,
If Logan Paul lands a.
Yeah,
I
if-
mean, I just feel like there's no chance.
I feel like there's no chance
But it
to.
would be
You
hilarious.
just can't. You just
Yeah.
can't put a professional like that. You just can't
Yeah.
against an amateur. You just can't. But he could just catch him with. I don't see how. I really don't. Like these kids. God bless them for getting the fight. God bless them. Like they're gonna make.
Well, because like Jake Paul boxed that basketball player, right? And now Logan Paul's going to box a real boxer. That's crazy.
Yeah, an undefeated boxer. Like
I mean,
That's
he's just, I
crazy.
mean, he is many inches shorter than Logan Paul, but he's just so much more talented. He's just going to scrap him up from behind and, like, you know.
How big is Logan Paul?
Logan Paul is 6'2". Floyd Mayweather is 5'8".
But what's the weight?
Floyd Mayweather, 150 pounds. Logan Paul, I got to look up.
I would say Floyd Mayweather's probably around 165 right now.
Paul's 200 pounds.
Floyd is 5'8". I'm 5'8", dude. That makes me feel so good.
Yeah,
I feel like Floyd Mayweather
well, Floyd
right now.
Mayweather is a much smaller.
He's way
Man.
smaller. It's such a mismatch.
Oh, I mean, it's not. When you say mismatch, I don't know what.
Well, because everything is mismatched.
Yeah, I don't.
With
Yeah.
experience and size, it's just like which is gonna win out. That's what I look forward to seeing.
It's really unbelievable. What do you got next, Doctor?
Okay, so a new star who may recur in our show, Kentucky Man. So a bald Kentucky man caused a disturbance at a hair salon. Then I just want to note that this hair salon is a hair salon, art gallery, and frame shop. He caused a disturbance in this establishment after he asked a worker if she had a product to bring his hair back. And she said no, and he became belligerent and angry and destroyed things, and they had to call the police.
Oh my
Now, I enjoy stories like this tremendously because I don't think it gets enough attention.
How painful losing your hair is.
Yeah, well, no, the Bosley Institute, I hear does great things. But that being said, this man on the screen, as we can see right here, he stands no chance.
Of getting his hair back?
No, he's done.
Or doing anything.
Yeah, dude.
Well, his hair's good. Like, I mean, he's shaving for a reason.
Yeah.
It's done. He's lost.
I
Like,
mean,
and-
maybe he's tilting his head back so it's not as obvious how bald he is.
well,
But just to rub salt in the wound, the article says that his hair color is listed as bald in police and jail records in all caps.
I think which is hilarious.
Yeah, I think that's also hilarious.
Absolutely hilarious. And does it say this guy's name?
Yes.
What's his name? Jeffrey Trent.
Jeffrey Trent.
I thought he had two first names. Yes, I thought I remember that. I don't. Yeah, anyone with two first names, I'm wary of. Like Jeffrey Johnson,
Logan Paul.
Logan Paul,
Jake Paul.
Very wary of two first names all the time. It's just a thing. I have two first names. Not, you're bound to do something. And I still can't believe Logan Paul's fighting. I still can't believe what do you got, Richard?
No, I mean, but he flipped out, right, when she said that she can't
They
give
had
medication.
nothing.
Like, no, because I feel it too. Like, my hair is starting to go. I am so mad. Like, I could just feel like if I could just kill somebody and get my hair back, like, perfect.
Oh,
I
so
would
you're
just-
saying this was his tipping point
Yeah.
moment?
I mean,
He
he
lo-
looks like he's been bald for a while. I don't know that this is the
Well,
first
it
time
seems like
come
he's
to grips with
shaving,
it.
so he knows. Like when someone shaves,
They know, yeah.
it's either to hide the baldness or like there's more going on when you choose to actually shave.
Well, I think that's just giving in.
I don't know. Shaving. I mean, that's a lot of work.
'cause
I
some
think giving
people
in is
think-
just letting it go.
Some people think
and
the
never cutting it again.
fully bald look is better than the pattern baldness.
It
look.
depends on what your shaved head looks like. I think.
Yeah, I would look ridiculous.
I
have
shaved my
very
head once as a
lumpy head.
teen,
Uh-huh.
preteen. I remember being very upset with how I looked. I remember the feeling of dread and
Well, I
fear.
feel like as a preteen, your features are already so out of proportion.
Well, I remember feeling dread. Because I thought about it. I was like, my hair's so long now. Should I just be ridiculous, Britney Spears it, and just shave it? And I'm like, no, I remember doing that once, and I was unable to go outside for, I think, at least 2 weeks.
Well, don't Britney Spears it because you might end up with a conservator.
Oh, no.
Well, I mean, Joe Jackson. I told you, could have done her very good. What do you got, Doctor?
Okay, so not to be outdone, Florida man
Is back.
is back,
We
and
love
so
Florida, man.
maskless Florida man has been arrested after coughing and spitting on Best Buy's Geek Squad counter.
Okay, look at this guy, though.
And it looks like he's in a cape for a haircut.
That's what I was going to say.
from
I
the
thought
other
these
store.
stories were intermixed somehow. Because,
Yeah.
look, they did him up in a...
like a hairdresser's cape.
because obviously that didn't happen at Best Buy. Now, I
No.
want to be clear about this story. I've had some run-ins with Best Buy.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if they've ever pushed me to cough on everything, but I understand where he's coming from because coughing has become very frowned upon in our society.
Well, he also sprayed a Coca-Cola everywhere.
Well, that's always been a big middle finger, okay? Classically speaking, when it comes to giving somebody a middle finger without giving the middle finger, there's a few things we can do.
Spray Coca-Cola.
Spraying a soda can all over your countertop, that's a big F you, okay?
Dude, yeah.
Coughing all over someone's big F you.
Taking a shit all over their papers.
Always an F you.
Very disrespectful.
No, but I'm saying the coughing, okay, and the thing is, this guy was at the Geek Squad Service Center. I get it. Because the Geek Squad Service Center, they almost act like they don't work at Best Buy.
I don't think they're the happiest group of people I've ever met.
They are very stuck in, they're slow in their ways, all right?
Well, I think they're like rejects from the Apple Genius Bar.
Oh.
So they just feel bad about their
Or they
Caribbean
had-
medical education.
God.
Yeah, because this guy, he was having problems. They asked him to put on a mask, and he's probably like, I just want my fucking computer back. Okay?
He needs the Facebook.
Yeah, I need to post some anti-vax stuff.
Yeah, stuff on Facebook
On Facebook.
about how bad masks are.
Yeah, this was the story that a part of me feels for the guy a little bit because, he was pushed to the limit. I'm sure he probably woke up or look at him right there. He's like, maybe that wasn't the best, but at least I made my point.
I think it's a good way to make your point,
Well,
I'm unhappy.
I just wonder what the charges are in that
Assault.
particular. Well, is he assaulting? Is it assault? What is he charged with? Disorderly
Misdemeanor.
conduct.
Disorderly conduct, yeah. Definitely.
Which I would say, anytime you spray a can on someone's business, that's a disorderly conduct.
Yeah, if I
give
came
it-
in here with a soda and threw it in your face, I would
I don't know
be
that.
disbarred.
just disorderly conduct. All right, doctor, what you got?
Okay, moving on. So a former Israeli space security chief
This is excellent.
says aliens exist. Humanity is just not ready. So he was, I think, commander for 30 years as head of the Israel space program, 3-time recipient of the Israel Security Award, said that Israel and the U.S. have been dealing with aliens for years with a galactic federation, and that they said humanity is not ready to know about science and space travel, and they wanted to avoid mass hysteria. But he says in the past 5 years, people have become more open to the idea, which is why he's coming forward, and that the aliens and the Americans are working from a underground station on Mars to research and understand the fabric of the universe.
See, the problem with anyone who with credibility, who comes out and says this kind of stuff, they always seem to just go one step too far.
Mm-hmm.
And if this guy wouldn't have been talking about underground bases and galactic federation, you're like, whoa, this.
Just set the stage, baby steps, right?
Well, yeah, I mean,
Massage the idea.
well, sure, or at least if you're gonna release the story, release it in 3 parts on your blog or
Yeah,
on the
like the
Brian Moreno Show.
monolith.
Yeah,
One at a time.
yeah. There's no
Yeah.
need to jump right into galactic.
Also, it
Federation.
sounds too much from Star Trek.
Well, yeah, I mean, it just sounds like crazy old guy.
Yeah.
That's all.
And he even says, he's like, if I had said this 5 years ago, I would have been locked up in a hospital. It's maybe don't wait till you're 87 and people will just say that you have dementia.
Yeah, I found it very, very par for the course on all the alien stuff that we're getting lately. It's just so.
I think it's probably just a distraction from the other shit that everybody's trying to pull, like assassinating people.
No, I believe there's a lot of validity to the alien stuff, and the way, as I said, it's been explained to me that we are nothing more than a way station for the aliens because we're just.
I mean,
people
judging
in the
by
bush.
the way our government runs, I agree with them.
You know, we are just the people in the bush who can barely rub sticks together.
If they are watching and listening to the Brian Moreno Show, can you please just like help us a little bit because we are struggling.
Yeah, and give me some of the nanotech to fix my shoulder. That'd be super cool. What's next, Doctor?
Okay, moving with the alien theme. A leaked secret Pentagon task force photo shows a UFO, or what they're now referring to as UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomena.
Yeah, right here. There's this little thing that you can.
Of course, it's like very
see
difficult
there
to
on the
see.
screen.
They couldn't put their zoom on.
No, it's like.
Does not look like anything.
It looks like a bug.
It's
like a balloon a kid let fly up into the atmosphere.
It could be like a dot on the camera.
Yeah, it's a schmutz.
I just don't like the newly leaked type of footage because it seems a little contrived to me. I say I'm very wary of anything that comes from
the Pentagon.
Yes, for a lot of reasons because they are so calculated.
They don't make mistakes.
Very rarely, and when they do, it comes from ultra smart people from within, like Snowden, and it's no longer Bradley Manning, it's Stephanie Manning. But you know who I'm talking about?
I do not.
Yes.
Are they related to Eli Manning, who I also barely know who that is?
No, he was one of the initial leakers, they believe, for WikiLeaks.
Okay.
But he transitioned when he was in federal prison.
Oh, gotcha.
So
okay,
now
that's hence the name change.
Yes.
Well, good for her.
I just don't get why people who are giving us all this alien footage and stuff, like, why are they? Is it so obviously fake or like hard to believe? You know, like you can construct a story that's like a little easier to believe if you want me to think that aliens exist. You know.
No, it's all very easy to believe. It's just very not easy to believe in the way that it gets presented.
Yeah, I know. Why don't they do a better job? I could do a better fake alien story than these guys. I would not use the words Galactic Federation.
Yeah, that's what it just sounds silly.
Yeah.
Although maybe in Hebrew it has more oomph.
Galactic.
Oh, did he do? Was that a translation kind
I don't
of
know,
error?
but Israelis speak Hebrew, so.
All right, keep it moving. What you got?
Okay, so I have to say, full disclosure, for a BuzzFeed article, this was very long, and I did not read the whole thing, mostly because
Which one?
I thought Ellen was already canceled.
Oh, okay.
And so I was surprised to see that Ellen was even still filming.
Yeah.
But apparently, the employees say that they're losing advertisers' bookings and ratings after all this stuff came out about sexual harassment and toxic workplace. And now Ellen also has COVID.
Yeah, well, that was going to be my follow-up story. Bad news year for Ellen.
Like, I already thought it was canceled.
Ellen.
I thought she was replaced by the Drew Barrymore show. Obviously, I am out of touch with talk shows.
Yes, here's the Ellen photo. Oh, that was pandemic relief. Now she tests positive for COVID. They're shut down till January filming, they say.
She's on contract supposedly until 2022. I don't know how they're going to keep making it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Just cancel it. Just be done with it. What do you mean? It's the network. Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. I already thought it was canceled. Like, this isn't anything you're doing right now is an afterthought. Like, just give her the boot.
Well, no,
She's made enough money. She'll be fine.
And not only will she be fine in a year or two, everyone will forget about this and she'll just have something new.
People love Ellen, dude. It's not. I think it's very hard to damage her reputation.
I think it's been
the quicker you pull
the plug on whatever's this format because it's just tainted.
Yeah, you have to like pull the Band-Aid, let the wound breathe a little,
and then live on an island for a little bit and smell you later.
You know, she's still with Portia de Rossi or whatever, right?
Yeah, good for her.
Yeah, go live your life.
You got money. What do you need? You don't need any of this anymore.
I think we underestimate how much people care. They're like, I love Ellen. You know, I watch her all the time at dinner. And
Really?
I love Ellen.
I don't know anyone who loves Ellen.
I mean, that's because it's middle America. You know?
I
It's
mean,
like the
I think
Oprah
my
Are
crowd.
you
mom would
calling
say
me a
sh-
coastal?
my mom would
Yes.
say she's nice.
Your mom would say she's nice?
Ellen is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ellen's
Your-
nice.
Your mom probably doesn't know anything about Ellen being canceled.
She probably doesn't. My mom, that whole story is probably total news to my mom.
She's like, she was treating people bad at work. It's like, okay,
what?
yeah. Like,
so.
so?
Yeah,
But she's
your mom-
so nice. She
my mom's
wouldn't
like,
do
yeah,
that.
but my mom's like, that's what people do at work, right?
Yeah.
Just suck it up.
Suck
At least
it
you got
up.
a job with Ellen.
Yeah. She'd be like, yeah, white privilege. They're complaining about being yelled at by Ellen.
And then on a positive note,
Okay.
doctor.
I do like to end on a positive note.
This one is very nice.
So there was a chain of cars at a Dairy Queen in Minnesota where 900 people paid for the meal behind them. It started with one guy with an act of kindness. He said, I'm going to pay for me and the guy behind me. And then it just kept going. And this is in Minnesota where people thrive on being nice in the Midwest. And so the store manager said that this happens once in a while, usually lasts for 15 or 20 cars. But it went over 2.5 days with 900 cars participating, and they brought in $10,000 in sales.
I think that's amazing. Absolutely amazing for one.
And I think in pandemic times, like, people need something nice.
Yeah, that's very nice. And this is at a Dairy Queen. Okay, now. What?
How'd they
are-
get 900 people to go
what
to a
are
Dairy Queen
people
drive-through?
ordering at this place?
$10,000.
Fucking yogurt.
No, it's like they got the thing where you can turn it upside down. It's so thick. This frosty,
I think the Frosties at Wendy's.
there's something from Dairy, the Blizzard.
I think that's.
It's the Blizzard. I'm
I
telling
think
you.
you're. I'm
This
just
is
gonna
the Blizzard.
confirm.
The Blizzard is what I used to get.
Oh yeah, the Blizzard does look delicious.
At
What
Dairy-
is the blizzard?
It's a shake, basically.
but a thick and ultra thick shake with
Yeah,
a lot
it's
of
like
stuff in it. And
real
they can,
artery
like,
clogging.
Yeah, turn it upside down. And I've always remembered as a child, they would turn it upside down and it wouldn't come out. The
My
thing like
conditioner
to
does
show
that.
you. And I'm like, as I got older and understood processed food, I'm like, so that's not real. So like the chemicals are binding to the styrofoam of the cup. Like
Oh,
the artificial chemicals
Oh, yeah.
are literally binding to styrofoam. Like, can you imagine
You probably
what that
your stomach is probably stained on the inside. from that
still
blizzard.
digesting?
Yeah, blizzard I
Unreal.
read takes 7 years to digest.
I believe it.
That's not a thing.
Yeah,
What if you swallow gum? Does that take 7 years to
That's not
digest?
a thing.
that is
That's a
also
lie, too?
myth.
Yeah.
Does the Dairy Queen, do they serve like hamburgers too?
I think so.
Yeah, and chili dogs.
It's a chillin' grill.
Oh
Dairy
my-
Queen was in the image.
Yeah, chillin' grill. It's grill and chill.
Why don't we get a hamburger from Dairy Queen?
But you think the chill would go first?
Well, I think that's why I said it wrong. Because I think chillin' grill sounds better. Maybe you should call your patio a chillin' grill.
Oh,
With the Traeger
yeah.
grill.
Yeah,
This
you need
show is
some sort
sponsored
of-
by Traeger Grills.
I think we should chill and grill.
I have to say, this is it's always very insightful, this show. Always very insightful. Do you feel like you learned anything today, Richard?
Indeed, I do. Yeah, I mean, I have conversation for the next week.
Well, see, that's the thing. Everyone, and there was no good Christian Catholic news this week. I actually kept an eye out for it.
Wow.
I was hoping for Lutheran Baptist something or other.
Instead, we got Israelis.
Better luck next
no,
time.
we got the Israelis.
Well, it is
but-
Hanukkah.
Oh, it sure is. And
Right?
the Israeli is the one who
Yeah, Chaim.
Galactic Federation. You know, I think I'm very thankful we're able to at least do this show right now. People should stay healthy. I really wish I had some type of answers, some solutions to how to get this over any quicker, but I don't.
Everybody take your vaccine when it's your turn.
You know, when is the turn going to be?
I think as long as people take it when it's their turn, that's what matters. I will be taking mine. I'll post it somewhere if anybody's interested.
Well, apparently Barack Obama's going to take it on live TV, so.
Yeah, and they said the 3 presidents would.
Yeah. Clinton, Bush, and Obama have all said that they would do it on television.
I would watch that.
I mean, would you pay any money on pay-per-view?
I would not.
I mean, it shouldn't be interesting.
No, it's not.
Because nothing's going to happen.
I don't pay for old black men to do anything anymore.
God. I get it. All right. This has been the greatest news and headline show there is. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Brian Moreno. Thank you very much. Doctor?
Good night.
Richard?
Toodaloo.